So you see these people here. I've always talked about how target individual we're surrounded by people who either are neighbors or people who become neighbors to try to make you accept a falsified reality. I hate this trash, but they're just the bottom feeders. I actually don't even hate them. I just thankful that I didn't have to live my life living that nasty life. I mean, I know that they can delude themselves that they're empowered or gods, but it's just the bottom feeders, and they know that they are trash. Trash that are supposed to do these nasty things to people, and it's a nasty life to live, because truly they are cowards. Their job is to create the false reality, and of course they have to live in reality either way. So as they try to make me accept these things, it's just disturbing. You see this baby from the back of the head, they do some nasty things already. This is the kind of content I would love to watch. I would love to watch these things. I love to watch these wholesome, feel good type of videos. Unfortunately, now they do these things where I react to children in these disturbing ways. Stimulations, sensations, things they do to people. They're renowned to be doing these things to people. They are trash, they're low lives, and they know that I see them as that. They used to love to be seen. You see these people on the side, those are the perps that live next to me. I remember one of these trash were looking at me, like smiling, showing me the teeth that she had, that because my teeth are gonna somehow decay, and even though her teeth was full of braces, I looked at her, I just called her a pedophile in her face. So in that point, at that level, she already knows what I see her as, right? They're just bottom feeders. But she's supposed to make me accept these things that's happening to me. They try to make me identify with these things that I'm experiencing by saying, no, you felt like that when you were a kid. And they say, we're just matching to how you would feel when you were a kid. And then try to create that feeling as me as a child. Try to find ways to implant that in my memories in different fashions. It's crazy. No, you felt like that. And they make me feel like sensation in my testicle area. It's so disgusting. And it's intense. It's nasty. And it's foul. Of course, I know when I was a kid and I saw a kid, I would not feel this feeling that I'm feeling today, even though they're making me feel this today. Right now, they're making me feel this different version of it. It's like a weird sensation, a sensation of like stimulations, a sensation of being like when you're nervous and like you have that anxiety feeling, almost like that, but instead of like the upper side of your stomach, but more in the testicle area. It's so disturbing, and it's what they do. And it's try to find a ways to camouflage these false feelings that are manipulated in your memories and say, no, we're matching. This is how you would see. Remember, like, if you saw a kid like that, remember that time when this kid came and then you felt that these things and these feelings. Like, no, I didn't. That's what you're making me experience today. No, you are making me feel things that are falsified. But of course they know I know that, because what they're making me feel, they've done that to others. They've done these nasty pedophilia feelings to others. These weird sensations. You've heard this. If not, let me just bring this snippet, this part of this testimonial of this woman who literally say, I've been feeling weird when I was feeling on my dog. They make me feel this weird feeling. So these things they do is what they do. And I'm feeling a strong stimulation in my genital area. That they wanted me to be like, no, this is naturally happening. Oh no, you know what we're doing? We're making you feel the way you would feel when you were a kid if you saw a child like that. We're matching to how you would feel when you were a child. And you have clowns like this. You can see they look sketchy and shit and full of trash when you even see them. You see them, you know they're full of shit. You see these people in your life. If something like that try to make you believe something, just by even her aura, even just she's full of BS. This person can tell you you're nothing. You look at her, it's like, okay, so you're the something. They're delusional. Do you think these feelings I'm feeling my growing is something I organically feel? Do you think I'm going to subscribe to that? Oh, you're telling me that's how I feel if I was a child? That's how I feel when I was what, 12 years old, 13, 14? Delusional. It's falsified. But on top of that, I'm in my 30s. So even that is just like, what kind of retardation do you think I'm going to accept these things from? This is what you make me feel. This is what the pedophilia type of torture is, what they talk about. It's forcing somebody to get stimulations and aim those toward children. And for me, then they talk about, I remember what you did as a kid. There's like, I did some stupid thing as a child, just like that. An act of a moment, impulsive moment of a child who's in 8th grade. At a time when, non-stop, right? And what they try to do is create this sensation and implant that in that moment and say, no, you see, you felt it like that. So today, what you're feeling today is how you feel then. We're not doing the pedophilia type of torture. We're not manipulating your memories. How would we do that? We don't do that. We were different. It's you when you were a kid. You were. We mapped it to you as a kid. Trash ass. They've mapped your brain so they can manipulate your thoughts, your memories, your reactions. That's what they do. So now you're experiencing this because they've mapped your brain to be able to manipulate you to experience this. To be able to manipulate your memories to experience this. I know that these people that you see there are pedophiles for what they're part of. And when I mean pedophiles, I don't mean they do things to children that way as well. They torture children. Some of them have done it more than others via this technology. But so I'm saying that they force you to experience things that are falsified. And that's why when I look at people like them and try to, this trash to make me subscribe to these things, I see them for what they are. Targeting videos. If I make 1 trillion videos every day, if I make billions of videos every day saying the same things, it's because I know that there'll be a time I won't be able to say those things. But this deluded trash that truly want you to forget that you already have been validated, that they do these pedophilia things. They want you to be subscriptive of these things and identify this, feel guilty. This also consists of coworkers. This trash will take pictures, will be on camera in front of, like, with the background of children, and so with their, like, the frame picture of their children in the background, and be like, oh, you're sick, you're trash. And then sometimes they have these battles, oh, little girls is real, little boys is fake. No, it's all fake. You're making me experience things that I would not experience naturally because you manipulate me, but that's your job. Your assignment is to make me accept, falsify, manipulate memories, stimulations, and all of that. But the reason why I won't let them live the fantasies, because on top of my validations of others have been experiencing these things and being forced to have stimulations, those entities contracting and empower this whole life to be the gods that they claim to be are entities filled with pedophiles. Of course, I'm going to bring that snippet again. They're trash. And on top of that, they torture babies. So not only they force men and women to have this stimulation toward children in these disturbing ways, not only the entities that have empowered these bottom feeders, which is what I call them. They are bottom feeders. They are the bottom feeders of these entities that are developing this technology. But on top of that, they torture children. But these bottom feeders, for these entities, those entities are filled with pedophiles. And for me, they're like, no, what we're doing, we're mapping to you when you're a kid. It's you when you were like 12, 13, 14 years old. This is that. Oh, matter of fact, let's go even younger. It's you when you were like in 3rd grade. It's when you're 8, 9 years old. Oh, you might be right. Of course I know what I am. And of course I know they want me to identify with this pedophilia type of torture. Of course I know they want me to identify with these pedophilia things I'm experiencing. I know what you guys are. This trash try to force you to experience nasty pedophilia things and try to make you acceptive of it. But the reality that not only they do the pedophilia type of torture, not only they torture children, not only they manipulate people in these nasty ways, but the entities that contract this trash are filled with pedophiles. And these psyops. trying to be this organization of goodness, as someone I've said. Try to play the gender thing where they, we know we're women, so we're just being fierce. Trash. They torture women the same way these women. Oh, we're parents. We're doing this for our kids. Yeah, right. This program is out here torturing children as young as this baby you see in front of me. You're just an opportunist. You, in a heartbeat, show your child so they can do the pedophilia type of torture. Now I'm forced to get like stimulations, which they say, no, we're mapping it to you when you're a kid. Remember that feeling? They implant that feeling in my childhood. Nasty low lives. So to all my target individuals, to anybody who's listening to this, these low lives are trash. I was scrolling down on YouTube, and there's this thing where they caught this guy who was trying to meet a 13-year-old kid, and here in my neighbors here, they're saying, they I don't know if it's true or not, but they're saying something about they're gonna frame me. There's gonna be this 13-year-old kid. They're gonna do they're gonna some disturbing things. I'm like, listen, whatever frames, because they said that. They also said they're gonna implant cocaine in my apartment. They said they're gonna implant child porn on my computers. Like, they say all this kind of nastiness. And then I sometimes hear some trash saying, no, I'm 13 years old. Like, you're just a trash. I'm sorry for you. Your parents doomed you. Now you work for entities full of pedophiles. You are here trying to come up with your frames and your nastiness. Trash. Nasty lowlifes. And they're like, no, now you pay. So of course I will bring up the testimonies of what they do to babies, to women, the pedophilia type of torture, and these entities filled with pedophiles and in charge of this program. While this trash here talk about framing me with this trashy 13 whatever this bottom feeder that the government has contracted. I wish, honestly, and I know it's mean-spirited, but a side of me, I'm like, it's kind of wishful that this is true, because people who do these things, they're done. What kind of future is to somebody who at 13 years old is already trying to frame people? You're done. This is over. There's no coming back from that. There's not. So a little bit of my there's a bit of mean-spirited thoughts about that. Like, I kind of want this trash. I kind of want this perp to go ahead with this frame, because I know this thing is coming back to, like, what do you do once you do these things? What happens to you? It's not good things. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. Right? So that's why I'm like, I kind of want that. I just want to see in real time this happening. I just want and watch the future of this trash. So please listen to what they do as they try to make me subscribe to these things.
Free from this torture. Every day has been a miracle of survival. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my closed eyes.
But thoughts of pedophilia, like, it's disgusting. This take this whole thing into account so much. I make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind. But thoughts of pedophilia, like, this disgusting thing. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting thing.
What I said, playing with my dog. So that attacks continue. I don't let them get me. Today, they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use of people, better said young people, also children.
Any part of the body. This technology can be used to sexually manipulate the target. It can make the target feel sexual arousal, or it can sort of turn off the...
Able to allows any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts and images and imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory. Then by stimulating the certain regions in the brain they can retrieve this information and present it as your own memory. This is the conclusion that can be made judging by the influence they have been making on me with their psychotronic weapons.
I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic. And they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation in 2015, I began
occasion, I was told I was going to be shot in the face. And it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, you're going to get shot in the face. You know, sound like an angry ass old person. You know, then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. I'm going to get shot in the face. You know, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voices Skull, it's a bunch of females. You know, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman with stalking other females
I have been experiencing has been highly sexual in nature and highly perverted, involving many combinations of sensory and motor manipulation of my mind and body and of the people around me. This includes many different types of zaps to varying degrees to the genitals, butt, anus, and the entire pelvic area. This also includes many kinds of movements, such as the rocking, swaying, jolting, vibrating, and shaking of my entire body or various body parts, specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals too, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly.
Were forced to perform homosexual acts on each other against their will and religion in order not to be beaten or killed. This is a common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual as well as destructive and violent. highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close.
Simon, 1,400? You must have not been doing any job.
Well, even if you had to look at it to make sure you knew what it was, don't you just need to look at one?
Right.
You're like, I better check the other 1,399 just to be safe.
Yes, I better check the other 1,300 labeled tax things.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
And the guy with the 6-year-old?
Twice. Yeah, twice.
Twice with the 6-year-old.
So and here's the scariest part, out of the 10 instances that are described in the report, only one person was ever charged with anything.
Yeah.
With anything. Comment below. Do you guys know this story? This should be catnip for the media, right? Think about it. You've got this lewd behavior. You've got corruption at the highest levels of government, right? Aaron Brockovich, something about fake tits and tap water.
Yeah.
The CIA, raping children and sexually assaulting children?
A 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments. Not sure what actions, if any, were taken by him. One contractor arranged for sex with an undercover FBI agent. I think that she mentioned that. Posing as a child, he had his contract revoked. One CIA staffer was charged with child sexual crimes, and the employee was also under investigation for mishandling classified material. Not answer detailed questions, saying only that the agency takes all allegations of possible criminal misconduct committed by personnel seriously. Satellites acknowledge viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening for whatever reason with more frequency in our intelligence agencies, or is this something that is more pervasive in the general population than I originally realized? I mean, what's going on here? This is bizarre. Remember, it's so evil.
Allie, we're told, and when I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking, these digital footprints, they're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks? If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind?
My interview with Lynn, he very well described a typical breakdown script that's used on almost all the TI victims. TI stands for targeted individuals. Some of them are pretty crazy. They have names like Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, and those are the confusion tactics. And when they're breaking down the ego of the human through all the pains and tortures and the verbal breakdown, these are typical CIA torture scripts. I mean, Kubark manual. And they do good cop, bad cop interrogation called Jeff and Mutt.
So you hear they obviously do these pedophilia things. They obviously manipulate the thoughts, and it'll be done this way. Matter of fact, as I wake up this morning, they made me have these weird dream, and then I wake up from this dream, and they start making me think of something sexual, or try to create some sexual thoughts, and then make me imagine this baby, to condition my brain to look at this baby in a sexual way. And then you hear the people, like, if you've watched my videos, you hear the honking and everything else. It's the ecosystem that's trying to box in these ways of thinking. They try to make you feel guilty for what's happening to you, right? they try to make you feel guilty for what's just happened to your brain. So they basically try to say, oh, we just saw what happened to your brain. Well, in reality, they know that my brain is being hacked by this trash and forcing me to think this way. It's nasty, but this low-life bottom feeders, as you can hear, have been conditioning people to think about children this way. They've been utilizing pedophilia type of tormenting, and most importantly, they've been also torturing children. As young as this baby. It's disturbing, but that's the life of this slow life. Now, for me, they're supposed to make me feel guilty, in meaning that they want me to be identifying and acceptive of what's happening to me. And it's foul that they could make a man or woman think about kids in this way, but you can hear those issues in these entities that are running the show. It's obvious that the CIA and other entities to that level are running the show, even though I do mostly hear these bottom feeders living next to me, which are just constructed trash to do these things. They are the people in charge, are those CIA entities, which happen to have a bunch of pedophiles there. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but this is how things are. Now, for me, I understand that's what they do, and I've made it clear that I understand what they do. It's the foul things they do, I'll never subscribe to it. It's funny when I hear this trash using this like repetitive scripts, which you heard, earlier mentioning that almost all TR almost all TR here some kind of scripts, meaning they say things over and over. With me, my perps sound like childlike individuals trying to sound menacing, and they like to talk about what's going to happen to me. I'm going to be tortured. I'm going to be because this is going to happen to me. Because by saying that, they think that I'm going to start identifying to these things they do to me. And then they try to present themselves with this psyop, like we are this group of friends. So sad and so nasty. But I'd rather die this way than having to live the life that they live. And so as I was making this video, obviously they start trying to disturb me. They do some weird things with me, which also include like making me like drool, or making me like bite my inner lower inner lip or something, weird things like that. And they're like, oh, would you bastard, you see, that's what you so disgusting. And of course they do the honking to try to somehow make me think, you see, that's proof that's you naturally. Or they do all kind of weird things to make you feel uncomfortable and to create some kind of disturbing reaction. But that's what they do. Like as you heard this version, as you heard this earliest audio, you hear that they obviously manipulate people in these disturbing ways, and they're trash that try to make you identify with these nasty things they do. And then you hear these bottom feeders that these government entities have contracted, who try to say, oh, we just busted, and they use an agitating voice to try to get you to be agitated. So to all my target individuals, stay strong. That is their job, to do the nasty things they do.